In this video, we'll be taking a look at physical lighting in Iray for 3ds Max. We'll go through the steps to create a few different light types for interactive rendering in Iray, and then focus on a few techniques to maintain accuracy in your lighting workflow. To get started, let's go to the Create panel and click Lights. In the drop-down, go to Iray Plus, and these are the lights that come with the plugin. We'll start by creating a physical sky. Now, before we start rendering, let's make sure to enable tone mapping. This gives us the controls to set the exposure just like you would with a digital camera. Now I'll go ahead and launch the renderer. In the Modify panel, with the physical sky selected, I can interactively adjust the lighting angle. If you have a specific location for a project, you can use the Date, Time, and Location feature. With Physically Based checked, this provides the most accurate lighting simulation in Iray. When unchecked, it exposes a few more parameters for you to adjust artistically. The second light type is called an IBL. It is necessary to associate an HDR file for image-based lighting. So let's go ahead and navigate to an HDR file and hit Open. Now I can create an IBL. We've created two different environment light types in the scene, and we need to tell the renderer which one to use. So back in the render setup under Environment Lighting, let's switch to Environment. Now we're lighting the scene with the IBL. In the Modify panel, I can click Preview in Viewport. This allows you to preview the IBL in any perspective viewport. I can use the Rotate tool to interactively adjust the lighting angle. I'll pick something about like that. I'll go back to the tone mapper and I can expose a little brighter. There we go. The third light type is called an Iray Plus light. Now, I'd like to show this light in the context of an interior scene. So let me really quickly unhide some geometry and lights, and we'll take a closer look at this scene. Now, the first thing you may notice is that the rendering is quite underexposed. This is because we're still exposing for the exterior. So I'll use the tone mapper to expose for the interior. Okay, now let's take a closer look at some Iray Plus lights. Let me move the camera angle around a little bit. Something like that should be good. And I'll go ahead and select an Iray Plus light. Go to the Modify panel and I'll turn it on. If I click Visible to Camera, I can see the light source. Now let's take a closer look at these lights, so I will temporarily disable the environment lighting. Okay, now we're looking at the lights in isolation. The four lights that you see are instant, so I only need to make updates to one of them. Using an IES profile will improve the accuracy of your lighting setup. These can be obtained from lighting manufacturers. You can also adjust the color temperature of your light. We'll keep it the same for now. We're using the Iray Plus interactive renderer, so I can interactively adjust the light to review the lighting setup. This is very helpful if you want to set up a specific look for your scene. Now let's take a look at a different camera angle. So I'm going to temporarily unlock the render view, click in a different viewport, and lock it again. Now we're rendering from this viewport. Let's select this light and I will turn it on and make it visible to camera. And I can use the same workflow to toggle on and off the IES profiles. Let's go ahead and adjust the tone mapper so we can see everything a little bit better. This is looking good, but the color temperature feels a bit warm. It's because it was set for natural daylight. So let's adjust the white balance for the interior lighting. That looks better. Now, Let's go ahead and create a different IBL. So I'll go back to the Create panel and click IBL, and I'll navigate to a night IBL. I'll switch the intensity down a little bit lower because it's a night IBL. Now I'll create an in the scene, and I need to remember to select the second environment light. I can interactively adjust the lighting angle, do something like that, and I may expose my scene even a little bit brighter. Now, everything that I've done so far is with the Iray Plus interactive renderer. This has provided a good preview for our lighting setup. If I'm happy with the lighting setup, I can switch to the Iray Plus renderer and hit Render. This will provide the most accurate lighting setup with global illumination. With these complex lighting calculations, it will take more iterations to resolve the render. You can already see the improved quality of the bounce light. Now, we can use the same interactive workflow with the Iray Plus renderer, so let's go ahead and review the scene one last time. I am noticing that we left a group of lights off. So instead of canceling the render, I can interactively update the scene. So I've already turned on my main lights and my patio lights, so let me turn on the lights that are next to the table. And I'll go to the Modify panel and click On. Now I have turned on all the scene lights. To review, we used the Iray Plus interactive renderer to preview the lighting setup, and then used the Iray Plus renderer for the final lighting simulation. This was an introduction into physical lighting in Iray for 3ds Max. Thanks for watching, and as always, please visit us at nvidia.com and the Advanced Rendering Forum.